carry on giving you your fix of edutainment on this particular Wednesday, and I go by the name of Barry Moses, or It's Barry Mo on every social media platform, and it's about that time where I talk to the comrades, members of the University of Nairobi, and I love their multidisciplinary approach to finding solutions. Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
So maybe we can give the gentleman a chance to introduce himself, since he's the only one here.
Hello, my name is Rashid Mungele Salim, the chairperson for Nairobi University Nursing Students Association, and I'm a member of the Students Innovative Clubs, One Health.
All right, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Fill it home.
Thank you.
This is our living room.
My name is Samantha Mkonja. I'm an undergraduate student pursuing Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. I'm also a member of the Students Innovation Clubs of One Health, University of Nairobi.
Powerful. Karibu sana. What about you?
Hi everyone, my name is Caroline Kimani. I am a master student taking range management.
Range management,
yes.
Slaying like this. All right, karibu sana.
Yes, at the University of Nairobi, and I'm also a member of One Health.
All right, where did you do your undergraduate?
I also did it at the University of Nairobi.
All right, powerful.
Yes.
What about you?
Hello, my name is Susan Mutuku. I'm a vet. I'm a member of Students One Health Innovations Club, University of Nairobi.
All right. Yes, so when I got the brief about you guys and your research, I was thrown off a little bit. I didn't understand the concept, the relation between wildlife, livestock, and humans. And there's a very huge relation, and they interact a lot. So maybe you can share with us what was the aim of this research.
First of all, this wasn't a research, but it was a field training, courtesy of One Health, with the support from our various lecturers. So what we did is we underwent a 1-week training on what we're going to do, and then we were followed with 2 weeks of field study, where we engaged with the communities. That is the Maasai community within the Amboseli ecosystem. And an ecosystem is just an interaction of various of human, the environment, and then the wildlife. And the reason they chose the Amboseli ecosystem is because it's the best interaction where the humans, the wildlife, and the domestic animals and the environment actually interact. Yeah.
We have pastoralist communities in this particular area.
Yeah.
All right. So as a doctor or doctor to be, we have diseases that can be transferred from animals to humans. All right. Out of this training, what came out of this that you'd like the people to know, maybe?
Okay, so actually this was a very interesting training, and one thing we noticed within the Amboseli ecosystem is that, first we had two kinds of animals. We had the wildlife, then we had the livestock, which the Ma community kept. So and you see there was close interaction. These things were sharing, these animals and the humans were sharing water points, they are sharing vegetation, they're basically sharing even the environment which they lived in. So one thing to note is the conditions called zoonotic conditions, and these are diseases that can spread from humans to animals or animals to humans. So that being that ecosystem, we found diseases like anthrax, and many times you'll see a doctor or a vet going to the community, they find anthrax in the animals, but they forget that anthrax can cross from animals to humans. Yeah. Or you see a medic or a doctor going to the same population, they find a particular disease and they forget that link.
I thought anthrax was a terrorist disease.
It actually exists. Yeah.
Oh, it actually exists from animal and can be transferred from animals.
Which is scary, because you see, from human perspective, we see it as, and I think also from the vet perspective, we all approach it as a bioterrorist disease. But you see, animals can easily get it. Yeah. So if we are protecting our population from other attacks, and we get it from animals, you see, we haven't really protected ourselves.
We are going to be talking about the solutions. As a range manager, do you think it's advisable for humans to coexist with wildlife like this, say for example in Amboseli?
Well, Amboseli ecosystem is one where it is hard to segment all those. If you're talking of animals, livestock and wildlife, it's hard to really put them apart because they do depend on the foraging together, on the water points. And these pastoralists move with their animals. So it is hard for them not to interact. So probably what we can do is ensure that these pastoralists are able to sustainably produce their own forage. So if you're talking of what the animals will feed on, then we can make it more sustainable for them. And also their watering points. Yes, if we could find ways in which they can have water without necessarily having to go.
But these are people who have lived like this for the past 1,000 years maybe. This is their lifestyle. So is it possible maybe to find a solution where we can coexist, or they can coexist, and Simba zisiuliwe wakikula ng'ombe?
Well, human wildlife conflict is a very complex. It's very complex, and because people are moving into this area, there's the issue of population growth, which is still at a very high rate. Yes, so we will still continue seeing cases of, if at all, we do not look at the way we are urbanizing our towns. We will still have cases of people moving into protected areas, moving into areas where there were life, moving into their migratory corridors. And so we will still see more interactions of these wild animals with livestock. So our activities were to sensitize, yes, and also ensure that there are preventive practices. Yes, so that means that these people will know this is the cycle from this animal to you. This is how these pathogens are passed. So if we could get them to know more and more of that, and also ensure that they have other ways of improving their livelihood, such that pastoralism is not really is not what they solely depend on.
Oh, you have so many solutions. I think you should go for office maybe. Let's talk to the vet right now. Madam Vet. So it's a fact that livestock or the animals that we keep at home can affect the humans. And you were telling me something really interesting on how to prevent transferring of diseases from animals all to humans. Yes, if you can share this with the people.
I'll use an example of a disease. It's called cynurosis. Cynurosis is zoonotic, so it means it's transmitted from animals to humans, and the final host, or the adult, it's a tapeworm, and the adult tapeworm is found in the dog. So it's mostly in the small intestines. So the eggs of that worm are passed on through dog feces to the environment. So when animals graze on that environment, they pick the eggs. The eggs go to the intestines, then they hatch into oncospheres, which then are released into the bloodstream, and then they are transferred to areas like the eyes, the skeletal muscles, and the brain. And that's why the Maasais call it ormilo, which means suckling. Mostly they see it in sheep and goats. They start suckling. So if for this disease, humans can also be affected by accidental ingestion of eggs when they eat food or water contaminated with those eggs. So to prevent this disease, number one, deworming of dogs is very important. Because that will remove the adult tapeworms, and eventually the life cycle will end. And also you find that the Maasais feed the heads of such animals to dogs, which means they are basically propagating the life cycle of that tapeworm. So for us to achieve or to minimize or to reduce the levels of cynurosis, we must deworm the dogs first. Then after deworming the dogs, we will reduce the disease eventually, because it will not be transmitted to the other hosts.
Thank you very much for that powerful message. All right, I have another question for you, but this is a little bit off course. I hear the mad cow disease can be transferred to humans by eating contaminated meat.
Yes, that's true.
How does it affect a human, say, the mad cow disease?
I don't know if you've had. I've seen it in several movies. I don't know. Most of the times, it's a similar. They're called prion diseases. Yeah. So what happens is prions. They are like cells. They're not necessarily cells. You see, there, as we say, a virus has no cell wall, so it's not a cell. So prions are the same case. Now what happens?
They're not viruses as well.
They're not viruses. They're not cellular. Basically, they're not cellular. They're proteins. Yeah, but proteins that can live by themselves. Yeah. Yeah. So what happens? These things go to the brain and replicate. So once they replicate inside the brain, you have now your patients. They will present as if they're, should I say, mentally incapacitated. Yeah, in most cases, and this thing can cross species.
Should we be scared of eating meat now? Nyamashoma is culture. Nyamashoma is culture.
You shouldn't be scared of eating meat, but know the kind of meat that you're eating. Right now we have the inspection of meat. So we have the vets that do the meat inspection. This is just to make sure that the meat you're taking is safe. And you also have an instance of maybe where you get the meat from. If you're buying the meat from a butchery that is not accredited or as per se, then you might suspect, you might be fearful of getting some of these diseases. So get the meat from a safe place and then make sure it's an inspected meat. And I'll call upon every other person. That's why we're in a multidisciplinary approach. If you're a vet, do your role. If you're a nurse, do your role. And then let's combine and do it together. So
that's why you guys came together.
That's why we're together. So for me, I look at the vet as a meat inspector. Why? Because it's helping me prevent. And right now everyone is talking about universal health coverage. It's focusing on the basics of health, preventive health other than curative health. So let's do it in a multidisciplinary approach. We shall help in preventive other than curative.
Preventive rather than curative.
Yeah.
22162 is the SMS line. Start with YM254. Don't forget to leave your name and where you're watching us from. Contribute to the conversation. So as we come to the end of this, out of this training, what did you leave with that you think can impact the society?
For me, this was a life-changing field training because right now I'm able to work with communities. In communities, there are felt needs which they know we do not have water, and they actually acknowledge that they do not have water. But we have unfelt needs which we think are needs, but according to them, they are not. As you said, these people have lived like that, like
for a very long time.
For a long time. So, as a One Health team, I have learned to work with communities to help them identify their challenges, and through participatory methods, they come up with sustainable solutions. Sustainability is the point, because if we go and give them free water tanks, then the next time we come, they are expecting us to give them something else which we may not have. We are students and we do not have money. So for us is to help them come up with sustainable solutions.
All you can give them is knowledge.
Yes, and sustainable solutions which come from them, not us telling them you should do this. Yeah, and then another point is, for all of us to be healthy, the animals need to be healthy. The environment needs to be healthy. Then eventually we will all be healthy. Yeah, we all depend on each other. The environment depends on animals, and the animals depend on the environment. Humans depend on animals and the environment. So it's a circle. Healthy animals, healthy environment, healthy human beings.
Preventive rather than curative.
Yes.
All right. What can you tell a layman out there that has animals, say, and that is a source or probably source of income, and they don't trust modern day medicine, maybe, so they just figure out a way of if the cows die, they bury the cow, but they don't trust this modern day medicine, because we have people like that. What advice can you give them?
that's an issue we've seen. It's not really an issue because it has been working for them for over the years. They use a lot of herbal medicines. Like the Maasai, they depend on their natural resource base for everything they need.
Is it working for them?
It has been working for them, but we also acknowledge the place of modern medicine, which has also been working. And in the Amboseli ecosystem, for example, they are doing a very good job in extension services for the community, and they're really taking it up, working with the community themselves, the community extension workers from those households, to ensure that these people get the services that other wananchi are accessing. So yes, and we've also found, like, we found a case of where they use something for snake bites, and it lasts them long enough to go to the hospital, like an hour. So we can't really dispute the place of herbal medicine, but we also acknowledge that modern medicine is helpful to the community.
You sound very politically correct. Thank you very much for your views. All right, what can you tell the viewer right now with reference to what we've talked about today, taking care of ourselves, being number one when it comes to our health?
Yeah, I think the basic thing is when you give information to your doctor, they'll know what to do with it. So if you keep cows, if you keep animals, make sure you keep on bringing these issues as you go to the hospitals, because like we've seen, we have those zoonotic diseases which can be transmitted. Yeah. Then the other thing, now this is basically to all professionals, the multidisciplinary approach actually works. Yeah. And more often than not, you know, me, honestly speaking, I think I'm the nerd type. Yeah, I'd want to know everything.
That's why in
but you
school.
see, it's close to impossible. It's close to impossible. Yeah, and if you learn there's a way that you can learn all you can, and someone else can learn something on your behalf, then you guys can sit down and actually come up with a solution. Like, that's genius. That means I don't have to spend the entire 24 hours
doing
seeking
a vet's
knowledge.
job.
Yeah, and also doing a vet's job where I can learn the best of my part. She learns the best of specializes. Then we come together and work together. So that's for professionals. That's the multidisciplinary approach.
So everybody can contribute to this.
Everybody can
even
actually.
The economists can contribute
we're actually talking about it. We are thinking, you know, after the course, we decided to mention everyone whom we felt we needed in the team. And after that, we noticed we needed social workers, we needed economists, we needed engineers. Like,
what about models?
I think
Like myself.
everyone has a place. I think they have a place. They actually have a place. Because sometimes, you know, the problem can be communication. I want to pass across a certain message, but my nerdy self does not know how to do it. You see, so I might need someone else to so it's basically working together, and working together does not mean you look down on someone. You're working at the same level. So it's just not the normal working together where you're giving commands and everything. You're willing to sit down with all stakeholders, same level. You have one team leader and you have a solution.
So everybody has a role. Multidisciplinary.
Yeah.
Talk to the kids. You look like you can be good with kids.
What I can say is, what I loved actually most about the One Health approach, we were trained on systems thinking. So even to the kids, always think of systems thinking. How is the problem relating to other people? How is the problem related to other stuff? Like, for instance, if I am sick, let me not just feel like I'm the only one who is sick. How is my sickness affecting my mom? How is it relating with my dad? How is it relating with my pet? How is it relating with my environment? So it's a systems thinking. All of us are connected in one way or the other. And then I love the point of when you say that people bury their carcasses. That's the best way to go. It's among the preventive measures. When you bury, you're actually preventing the spread, other than when you eat a dead animal, which is a carcass. So burying is also a best practice.
So every time tukiona hiko
imekufa, don't go and like the other day I saw you've seen about the, I don't know which part of the country it was, but people are chopping off the meat from the well. You remember? So it's
elephant.
a dead well. Very recent in news. So it's, instead of you going and you by the way even don't know what caused the death. So maybe you're eating something that actually going to bring a new emergence of disease, zoonotic diseases.
You can blame this on the fuel prices. But all right, this is the point where we get famous now. So we are on TV. Say hi to you people, and then remember to mention your social media handles so they can follow us. Everybody likes followers.
You can follow me on Facebook at Susan Mutuku, and on Twitter Susan Mutuku 6.
Susan Mutuku 6. Thank you very much, Susan Mutuku.
Hi everyone. You can follow me on Instagram at Washara Kimani, on Twitter at Washara Kimani, and Facebook Carol W. Kimani. How far should we go? Gmail contacts.
Maybe you can tell us, can they find information about travel destinations in the country on your page?
Yes, they can. I have visited some national parks, which I like. And yes, you can find some on my Instagram mostly.
Perfect.
Yes.
What about you?
I think I have only 2 accounts, so you can find me on Facebook, that's Samantha Mkonja. You can find me on Instagram as Samantha Mkonja.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you? And don't forget to mention how they can get all this information that we have talked about here, if it's online.
Okay. Hello, my name is Rashid Mungele Salim. Like I said, my social media handles are Twitter. It's Salim M Rashid. Salim M Rashid as one name. Instagram, Rashid M Salim. Facebook, Rashid Salim. And to my mom, thank you.
Such a I like this guy. You forgot to say hi to your family.
Such a long list.
All right. Oh, there's a list.
Long list, yeah.
Oh, so you have a short list. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank
for coming
you.
through.
Thank you,
And
thank
mine
you.
is It's My Mode every social media platform. And don't forget the
Disciplinary approach. Disciplinary approach.
Everybody has a role to play in this. 22162 is the SMS line. Start with YM254. Don't forget to leave your name and where you're watching us from. Hilda is coming up next with another interview, so don't touch that down.